What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. And guys, I know, I'm late on my video today, but I was blessed with the beautiful blanket of snow that covered New York once again. So I spent my morning shoveling sidewalks in my house and taking care of my mailbox so the mailman can come. So that's what I did. I was trying to be a responsible adult and do what I should do in the real world, which is take care of the snow and make sure people can walk on my sidewalks. So that's why I was a little bit late today on the video, but I'm here and I'm still doing it. I also wanted to say this is freaking awesome. So Lily on the block, Crypto Lily, she posted this on YouTube this morning. I just randomly got tagged in the notification. I looked at it and she was like, I'm new to crypto. Can you please provide me with who provides the best info? And then she included Box Mining, Supoman, Crypto Bud, and myself, which, by the way, to even be included in a category with like these types of YouTube legends is just an honor, first of all. And the craziest thing is that 57% are actually picking Crypto Zombie. What the heck is going on, guys? You're awesome. Thank you so much. I would have never suspected that I would even be whatever. This is crazy. So thank you, guys. You're amazing. You know, who knows, maybe by the end of the night I'll be losing again. But for right now, thank you, guys. You're awesome. And I just wanted to let you know that it's that kind of support. It's those little things, you know, that really bring my spirits up. You know, everyone's like, how can we donate to you? Your affiliate links, sponsored videos. Guys, honestly, just that community connection, you know, that community, really. That's what I wanted when I started this channel. So that's really awesome. Yeah, thank you, guys. I'm not going to harp on, you know, enough about me. Let's get on to the news, see what's going on. But thank you, guys. You're amazing. So, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in the value. EOS is actually doing pretty well in comparison to some of the others. Neo's actually been struggling a little bit, although it has overtaken Stellar, still battling it out, still fighting out for that spot. But yeah, so we're seeing a lot of red, but we had a lot of green yesterday, you know? I mean, we're not going to just go directly straight to the moon. It's a bumpy journey, you know? It's not a straight moonshot, but I'm not worried. We are moving into the weekend. Sometimes we see the weekend does dip a little bit, but, you know, great time to buy. I mean, some of my most successful, I guess, purchases were during the weekends. You know, back in the day, I used to be very adamant of dollar cost averaging on Saturdays and Sundays. Just from my own analysis, seemed to do the best for me as far as making better gains, buying in for, you know, Bitcoin and Litecoin and things of that nature. So, you know, who knows, guys? It's the markets. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about too was I saw this post on Reddit and this guy, he took the opportunity to basically talk about all these Reddit thread titles that had over 100 upvotes that were saying they're completely bullish on Bitcoin. So I'm not going to go into all of them, but you could see hedge funds bullish on Bitcoin, SEC presented super bullish tomorrow, top trading opportunities, guidelines, you know, up, down. So basically what this is trying to say is do your own research because nobody knows what the heck is going on in the markets. We're all just guessing. We're all just throwing darts in the dark, you know what I mean? And that's why I don't focus too much on technical analysis on my channel, although some people may argue that technical analysis might be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I like to mostly just look at fundamentals, market sentiment, just kind of see where the overall opinions and values of the crypto space are at any given moment, and that's what I use to make my calls. But I also just really get involved in projects that I believe in, so I don't really have to worry about this moving forward. I don't really stress too much with the market and with my trades. I just get involved in projects I believe in, and I just kind of chill, just kind of hang out, and so far it's worked. You know, maybe one day it won't work, and then I'll try something new. So I wanted to talk about the big story of today. So Nikkei, which is a Japanese news outlet, they were spreading an article that was saying that the JFSA was planning to issue a warning requiring that the cryptocurrency exchange Binance would have to shut down its operation in Japan. And this is due to the fact that some of the employees that work for Binance are currently residing in Japan. Now, if you guys don't know, Binance originally did start in China, but due to all the crazy stuff that was going on, they decided to move to Japan. But they've also put some of their headquarters in other places too recently. But that was quickly refuted by CZ himself. And in this tweet, he said that Nikkei showed irresponsible journalism. We are in constructive dialogues with Japan FSA and have not received any mandates. It does not make sense for the JFSA to tell a newspaper before telling us, while we have an active dialogue going on with them. So once again, we have Binance just shutting down the FUD. And yeah, I gotta say, Binance, in my opinion, has definitely earned their place as one of the top exchangers, or the top exchange, actually, at this point. So thank you, CZ, for once again clarifying that FUD nice and quick so we don't have to deal with another 20% downturn. You're the man. Also, I wanted to discuss how SegWit transactions capacity increases in compared to Bitcoin Cash. So now they are adjusting it due to the fact that they had a 1 month head start, but SegWit has a 31.5% more cumulative transaction volume than that of Bitcoin Cash, larger than 20%, but still reasonably close. Of course, it's possible that at some point either or both of these figures could be manipulated. So although the data suggests that SegWit transactions have been adopted slightly faster than Bitcoin Cash, resulting in more transaction volume, Bitcoin Cash advocates could argue that the Bitcoin Cash token is more about philosophy, okay, of a larger capacity in a long term rather than the speed of the actual increase in transaction volume in the short term. So the whole philosophy, if you guys aren't familiar with Bitcoin Cash, is that Satoshi's original vision was to include the signatures, whereas SegWit, instead of taking the approach of increasing the block size, has basically decided that they are just simply going to remove the signatures. So that is apparently against Satoshi's vision, and that's the whole philosophy, if you're curious, behind Bitcoin Cash moving forward. So 3 months after the launch of Bitcoin Cash on December 31st, 2017, SegWit transaction volume has overtaken that of Bitcoin Cash and has remained the leader ever since. If you guys want, you can check out the charts right here. So also discussing the fact that SegWit has increased, any of you that have recently updated your apps, you may have noticed that Coinbase says that SegWit is now 100% rolled out to all of their customers. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means faster transactions, lower transaction costs. It's a win-win, guys. So that is something we've been waiting for, and it's really, really nice to see. I saw this funny post on Reddit, how this user right here said that they were on the phone with the IRS setting up a payment that was due to screwing up their taxes in 2015, and this person jokingly said, "Do you accept Bitcoin as a payment?" And the representative from the IRS on the phone said, "Unfortunately not, but give it time." That was the response. So that actually made this person smile. I thought that was funny that people at the IRS are like, well, give it time and eventually we'll accept Bitcoin. It's like, oh, cool, all right. Making my payments a lot easier moving forward. And we do know that as these regulations become, more prominent over time, I mean, listen, you're going to have to essentially pay your taxes at some point, but it'd be a lot easier to pay in Bitcoin. So that's pretty cool. I like that little short blurb that they put out. Also, for those of you that are interested in Nexus, now Nexus is a really great project, guys. I don't own any Nexus, but it's a project that I've really looked at for a long time. I mean, you're talking about the son of a rocket scientist, all right? They're trying to put these satellites into space to create this Nexus network so that regardless of what happens, if the internet goes down, you'll be able to still access the blockchain. And I mean, that's just skimming on the surface. There's so much more to this project. NexusEarth is one of those projects that they don't necessarily get in the limelight a lot. They may not be, the shiniest token of all time, but they are doing real things, and they do care about a real purpose. They care about people's privacy, their security, and the ongoing ability to allow the blockchains to survive through some crazy dystopian madness that could happen moving forward. But what I wanted to say is that they are doing an AMA March 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and they're going to be doing it over at cryptex.org. So you can come over here. It's thecryptex.org, and they have their Discord channel. So you just go down here, get in touch, get involved, and then you can participate in that AMA if that's what you're interested in doing. I also wanted to talk about ZCash because I had the opportunity to interview Rolf Versluis over at ZenCash. Now, ZenCash is a fork off of Z Classic. This is a fork off of ZCash. So going back to the original, what I wanted to talk about is that this hard fork is not going to be one of those airdrop forks where you're going to get like free tokens, all right? So let me go into this. So they're calling this Overwinter. That's the name. It's actually called Overwinter. That's the dub that they're using. So while there are some features being added to Zcash in the update, the purpose of this is to get practice doing network upgrades. So as such, the developer team has been carefully informed they've carefully informed the Zcash community about the process, so they know how to do this regularly from now on. So they're looking to potentially do multiple hard forks in the future. Unfortunately, being based off of the Bitcoin code, there's really not much you can do except to do these forks. But they are saying that the forks themselves are not going to be like where you're just going to keep getting all this free money. It's going to be with each fork, that's going to be the upgrade of the network. So then the old token, the old coin is going to be rendered useless. But let me go into a little bit more describing Overwinter. So Overwinter adds replay protection to Zcash, whereby should some users stay on the old chain and send transactions, those transactions will not be repeated on the new chain. Transactions expiry, a mechanism which prompts transactions to expire after an hour, is also going to be added, which some people argue that this might be a little controversial, but while it does sound kind of crazy, all right, it quite frequently happens that transactions do in fact get stuck or held in limbo because users don't pay high enough fees to make miners pick up the transactions and add it to a block. So that's something that they're looking to do in the future. Also, the other big change that Overwinter is going to offer Zcash is that the network address, the signature verification performance, they're going to bring that to it, and it's going to further move Zcash into a new role not defined exactly by Bitcoin. So fork on fork on fork, but that's essentially how you upgrade. So they argue that Zcash might be able to gain scalability by focusing on its own specialty, which is ZK snarks. So they're researching if using these ZK proofs can make a fully scalable blockchain. So if anyone was curious what was going on in Zcash, it's not like an airdrop. You're not going to get like free coins. They're going to encourage users to adapt to the new forks moving forward. Now, as the new implementations become more radical over time, then you may end up seeing those differences in philosophy and beliefs. But currently, they don't see an issue why most users would not move and just go directly to the new forked chain. Also, I wanted to talk about France. The French minister discussing about becoming actors in the crypto revolution. So they say that the blockchain will offer new opportunities to our startups. For example, with ICOs that will be allowed to raise funds through tokens or crypto assets. So France has every interest in becoming the first major financial center to propose an ad hoc legislative framework that will allow companies initiating an ICO to demonstrate their seriousness to potential investors. So tokens that meet specific criteria that protect savers, this is going to be the white list, okay? They're going to have valuable benchmarks for investors who want to finance serious projects that are going to create value. So clarifying that the law to attract innovation, they're looking to identify risks without hindering the ecosystem. That's essentially the overall approach. With a simple objective to enter the 21st century finance by guaranteeing to all actors the security necessary for their development. This is the role of France, to be a force of proposal to build the world of tomorrow. We will not miss this blockchain revolution. And that is coming directly from the mouth of the French finance minister. So things are looking pretty good for cryptos in France. Today it looks good. Tomorrow, who knows? So discussing these bigger companies developing blockchain startups and processes and potentially interfering with the cryptocurrency space, we are seeing these big players. We've seen IBM, okay? We've seen Microsoft, and now we're seeing Google. So they're planning to adopt a blockchain-like ledger system. They're going to use the tech as a means of differentiating its cloud's business from rivals. The company would also supposedly license the ledger system so that other companies could run it on their own servers. Now, Google was the second most active corporate investor in blockchain tech from 2012 to 2017. The company has also been investing in acquiring startups with digital ledger experience. So this is that thing. Are we going to see these bigger guys gobbling up all the smaller guys moving forward? I don't know. That's a possibility. You know, these big players, you know, Apple and Google and even Facebook, you know, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of developers. They have a lot of money. Did I say that twice? They have a lot of money. So yeah, that could help moving forward, guys. But we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of these companies, I briefly spoke on Facebook. So Facebook users could retake control of content with blockchain analysis. So the whole idea is that in the future, someone like yourself would no longer have to give their photos to Facebook, but instead you could just share that photo specifically with people, and then you'd be able to track it and make sure it's not shared with someone else who could get your information. But the problem with this is that, let's say Facebook decided to sell your photo to an advertiser, you'd be able to see the transaction happen, but you wouldn't be able to prevent it from happening in the first place. So they are looking at these potentials for blockchain use cases on Facebook, but I don't think that right off the bat it's going to be able to solve the bigger issues. On that same note of Facebook, Josh Hall made an amazing post at The Guardian discussing about how blockchain could potentially take back people's privacy. So we had the Cambridge Analytica scandal, also talking about Facebook. You know, you have Brexit. So Facebook, you know, isn't the only huge data company that suffered a major breach in recent years. You've also had the Equifax breach, which 143 million Americans and 44 million Britons had sensitive information stolen. So, you know, they say that proliferation is the major risk of the personal data. Think about the number of times you'd entered your address, your bank account, security number, your mother's maiden name into a website. You wouldn't dream of giving that sort of information, you know, in a brick and mortar type store, but yet we do it every day online and we don't even think about it. So blockchain technology is one of the potential solutions to this vast proliferation. So rather than yielding out most sensitive information to every shop or platform we interact with online, we could instead store it in a decentralized ledger free of a single point of failure, connect that technology to existing payment systems and platforms, and combine it with biometric security. So biometric security are things that we've potentially seen coming out with projects like Civic, like the Key, even with maybe the Bridge protocol, but I think they're talking more about, you know, scanning, talking, thumbprints, those types of things. So they could, enable a lot of those features on smartphones and tablets, and you can enjoy more control over your privacy and what other people have to see, and potentially say goodbye to passwords at the same time. But there is one problem. If the data is stored everywhere, how can it actually be private? So then they talk about, now this is the cool thing, this is why I wanted to bring this up, the researchers at MIT through Enigma. Now, guys, I did a video on Enigma if you guys want to check it out. So Enigma is trying to tackle this problem. They're trying to do secret contracts with nodes on the blockchain that are able to compute data without ever actually seeing it. So this is going to allow users to maintain control over their personal data, particularly through preventing its monetization or analysis by platforms. They also claim it could be allowing them to unlock a new system of lending in which prospective borrowers can establish their trustworthiness without having to give individual lenders across their specific personal data. So I talked about this Enigma is saying, say you work at a job, say you're a teacher or something, and you want to validate that you've been paid, but you don't want everybody knowing your salary. That is something that Enigma is really looking to really dive into and solve, right? I want to prove that I got paid. I want to prove that I did a task or I worked for money, but I'm not comfortable with sharing how much money that I've acquired, right? So that is awesome, and that's one of the things that Enigma is looking to tackle right away. And also, I wanted to just talk about how blockchain techniques are already being adopted at local and national levels. Estonia, which has emerged as one of the most forward-thinking digital-first economies, has gradually moved all of its citizens' data onto a distributed ledger. Also, for those of you in the United States, Illinois is testing a number of blockchain-based systems, including a birth registry, and Singapore is considering moving towards a blockchain system to allow citizens to interact seamlessly with government services. So there's always significant work being done to shift the focus of blockchain technology away from pure currency speculation towards real-world application, especially around privacy and storage. So you guys know I love talking about adoption on this channel. Speaking of a really funny thing, so you guys remember Crypto Kitties totally crashed the Ethereum network when it came out last year? It turns out that they've received $12 million in funding from big name investors, right? So that's crazy. Crypto Kitties, they're still here. They're going strong. So, other investors in Crypto Kitties include AngelList founder, the former Coinbase co-founder, the Bitfury head of strategy committee, and the founder of Zynga, the guys that do the games like Words with Friends and all that. So, guys, if you know, on December 4th, the DApp came out. It reached an all-time high of 13.94% of Ethereum's transaction volume, over 1,500 blocks, and it eventually crashed the network. Essentially just was so congested that you couldn't even send an Ethereum transaction. But it's interesting to see these big investors getting involved in it, especially the guys over at Zynga, which is crazy, right? So they're looking to dabble their feet a little bit in cryptocurrencies. So one other thing I wanted to bring up before I go, guys, is I wanted to talk about this new exchange that came out. They're called DDEX. Now, they have a ridiculously low trading volume right now, so there's no liquidity on this whatsoever. But it came to my attention because I noticed that they were, doing EOS, OX protocol, request network, ELF, and, IHT real estate protocol, which I've been meaning to cover this. I just haven't got around to it yet on this channel. So what I wanted to point out, though, that really stood out with the DDEX exchange, obviously we're going to need a lot more liquidity moving forward, but what I thought was really cool, I came over here, I checked it out, and if you go to trade, look at this. Up here, you have not only MetaMask, but Ledger support. So this is the first exchange that I've ever seen that you can actually directly plug your ledger in. Even with things like IDEX, you still have to go through MyEther wallet. So you'd have to deposit the funds and then do the transaction. But on DDEX, they're actually allowing you to directly connect to the ledger. So I don't know. It's a brand new exchange. I don't know. They're not doing a lot of volume right now. But the fact that I think they're the first. I don't know. I think they're the first to have ledger support that I'm aware of directly into the platform. So I thought that was really awesome moving forward. And I think that that's going to be a really good thing for people that want to trade on these decentralized exchanges, because we know that the DEXs, they're probably going to be really big, because even with these scares that we're seeing with Binance and all that, it's like enough is enough, guys. So that's really the news for today, guys. As usual, I'm sorry the video came out so late. I was busy shoveling the old snow. So I want to say thank you so much to everyone that's been coming back to my channel. You guys are freaking awesome. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it. I upload videos every day. I love to listen to your comments. And if you guys want, you can join my Telegram group in the description. Yeah, so thanks for coming back to my channel. My name is Crypto Zombie. Wait, no, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, guys, stay crypto and peace out.